like the best video ever.
This is crazy.
We got 25 minutes. We gotta go. I love that we've been muting ourselves now. Hey, what's going on?
Oh man, was I muted when I said hey?
We both were, but it's okay.
Oh no.
Season two seasons in, folks, and we're still having trouble just unmuting ourselves, but we're here. It is Wednesday. Incredibly excited to be on with you. Janelle, how are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm always excited for our Wednesdays.
Yes, as am I. Hello, everyone. What's going on, Jeannie? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to everybody out there. All right, let's jump right into it. I'm incredibly excited about today's topic. We actually just got back from an event. If you guys know, 2 episodes back, we were in Arizona at a leadership retreat, and this is actually a topic that came up there as well. So I'm definitely happy to dive into it, and I'm happy to actually discuss this with you because I know we didn't have a chance to really get into a lot of it.
Yeah.
There. So how about that drum roll, sis? And today's question is
it more important to focus on getting new customers or retaining old ones?
Very good. And this spans the gambit of everything under the umbrella of entrepreneurship and business. So
everything.
I'll let you lead off with this, Jay.
All right. Well, I believe, it's funny. I knew that this question was coming up, and I was like, oh man, this is tough. This is tough for me. I think the cop out is like just saying both, but like, I don't know. There are times, or maybe it's to say like there are times in your business when doing one is more important than the other. And maybe that might be a little bit seasonal, or maybe that might be a little seasonal. I don't know how that ended up in my hand.
We have a lot of bloopers for today's episode, folks. Be on the lookout for our next blooper episode.
What is that? I don't know. So like maybe it's seasonal, right? Where there's a season where you're like going after new customers, and then a season of like really taking care of the customers that you have. And I feel like that represents probably what I've done in my life, and I should say my life and my business. I definitely want to make sure that the customers are retained. Like you're always going to have a hole in your bucket, right? Like no matter how many people come in, like new people come in, you're always going to have a hole in your bucket. So people are going to go out, but like it does seem important to me to make that hole in your bucket as small as possible, right? Like, because let's be honest, like it's work to get those new customers, right? Like it's a lot of work. And so you put in all this work to get the new customers just for them to kind of like leave out the hole in your bucket, like, and they're gone. And it's just like, okay. And then you got to like work that much harder. So sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's more worth it to work on your retaining your customers. So that way you can make the whole smart. So you're just not like working as hard. Maybe it's because I'm in a new place in my life where I'm like, it's time for us to work smarter. And that could be it. But you're always, because the hole will never go away. I am quite aware. The hole in your bucket will never go away. No matter how many new customers you put in your bucket, there's gonna be attrition. There are gonna be people who leave your business, who no longer want to do business with you. And so it is important to continuously have new customers. But for sure, you want to make sure that all that work that you did to get the new customers, you want to make sure that that hole is really small. And if you can create a way to keep that, to keep those, retain the customers, then I don't know. That's really important. That's just how I'm feeling about it. Yeah. Thanks, Miss Brittany. I got it.
So I want to make sure we have the right time, so I have that up now. Okay. And I'm definitely going to agree with you in a lot of ways, and I look at it from the perspective of, I would also lead with the hair is nice. I didn't get compliments on mine, but that's okay. I'm definitely going to lead with the fact that retaining customers, just from analytical numbers and looking at this, having done real estate before, you'd be surprised that even people who've rented from you are more likely to rent again from you. They'll go back to somebody who they trust. Sales is about trust, who someone likes, that kind of thing. But the numbers actually do say that retaining a customer is better for your business than going out and getting new ones. And the reason is, especially in what we do with relationship marketing, is that raving fan, and maybe that's a term we've used on here before. If not, if it's a new concept to you, it's essentially what you're looking for in your business. Whether you're selling, whatever, it's a water bottle or, nutritional products, whatever the case is. If I have somebody that loves that, somebody who I'm taking care of, a customer that feels taken care of, that person is more likely to go out and get me new customers than it is for me to go out and get new customers for myself. Why? Because that person now is who you're going to trust. I think we talked about in the last episode about how important marketing and social media is now, and the fact that businesses are leaning towards having raving fans go out and bring them in new business and spending significantly less money having a person post or tag them in something. I mean, you'll see many businesses now insist that as you're leaving, hey, please leave us a post. Hey, please leave us a comment. And I remember years ago where that would be like a Yelp review or, one of those things. But then you could actually start buying Yelp reviews and having Yelp put you above, in the algorithms on Google searches. But now I go to Instagram if I want to get a good restaurant so I can go check out Instagram reviews of the place's hashtag and get that person's or many people's feedback. And so if you look at it in our business, and Janelle is, just in our organization personally, is amazing. It's one of the things we've often praised her, is that's the thing that I would often think of as, man, if we had more people, including myself, doing that, treating their customers well, reaching out to their people who've already purchased from you. Whereas I think in the general marketplace, you feel like a sale. You know what I mean? Like you feel like they gave your money to someone. No one follows up with you. It's like one of the things we don't like about buying from people you don't know or trust, right? Is you just feel like somebody just took your money and there isn't this relationship that they have with you. But in our business now, you have that opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to follow up about how's it going with the electricity? How do you liking the product, right? How are you loving it? Whereas many companies don't do that as well, right? But in our business, you have the opportunity to do that. And statistically, again, it is one of the, I posted the number somewhere. It is incredibly more likely, I think 60 or 70% more likely for you to resell someone that you've sold to in the past than it is for you to go out and get a new customer. And Janelle said it at the beginning. It's about working smarter. One of the reasons why people quit our industry, and I mean, not just their company, they leave the industry, is because of this constant need to refill that bucket. Because the hole is certainly going to be there. But imagine if you have somebody who's like, I love this product or service, that's great. But the relationship I built with this leader, the relationship I built with the person who enrolled me or showed me this product, that's what I really love. And so I'm not only going to promote them to others, but I'm going to keep telling people about it. I'm going to keep purchasing the products and service. And so I would definitely tell you, for everyone who's brand new in this, for people who are considering this when you get into it, one big thing you want to work on, something that I know we work on developing all the time, is our relationship skills in keeping people engaged in whatever it is that they're buying, having them, asking them, letting them know, keeping them in the loop about new things that your company is bringing out. It's your responsibility for them to do that. Maybe the company sends an email, but how many of us know that when they send out those emails, I have it now with Uber Eats, like they shoot me emails all the time of things. I have to like unsubscribe from stuff. But if I actually knew somebody from Uber who was like, hey, Winston, I know you like blah, blah, blah. They just dropped a new, sandwich or something. You definitely should check it out. That feels a little bit more personal, right? Instead of just like a general email that's sent to you. But companies spend a lot on retaining customers. They I would think invest a significant more amount of money there than in like $1 million for a Super Bowl ad or something to try and bring you in the first time. So I'm definitely going to say that retaining old customers is definitely a priority. And I also agree, you obviously need new customers in order for you to bring that volume up.
So so one of the things that something that you asked is, do you have any raving fans in your business, right? I love when you brought that up, because that's what we all want, right? You want raving fans. You want people who are literally hair on fire. This is amazing. What Winston was able to offer me, you do not understand. Either changed my life. It was transformative. I can't go back to what I used to do before, because now they've introduced me to something that is way better than I was ever doing, right? Like, that's what you want. You want people who feel that way. And so I would say, like, the minute you find those people, and that's probably why I reach out, because I know how important those raving fans are. And so I'm just, hey, did you
almost I love it.
like, it might be like, did you go on the website yet and check out, the products or services that we offer? If you did get something or use a service, like, how was it? Like, what did you like? Like, what was your experience like? What was your experience like compared to when you used something else, right? Or if something new is coming up, there's a flash sale, there's a new service feature, right, that has just come out. You want to make sure you reach out to people and let them know, like, hey, here's an added benefit, or like, hey, you can save some money on, I know there's this thing that you like, right? Like, those kinds of reach outs and feedback really, really help create, like, one, the relationship, and two, that raving fan. Because if you can get them to start thinking like, oh yeah, this was amazing, this was awesome, then they'll start to naturally just tell other people in their lives, especially whenever that service or that product comes up in normal conversation. So, like, I know we've used electricity bills in the past, right? Like, so if you are in a network marketing company that promotes saving money through your electric bill, if you have someone who's a raving fan of that, they're going to be talking to their friends. They're like, oh my God, I saved so much money by working with Tom, right? Like, it was like, you need to go talk to Tom. He's got like the hookup. I don't know what happened, but like, I just got like my whole bill situated. Like, I'm saving this much dollars a month and X amount of dollars a year, like, and I use that to go, on a date with my wife every day, or once a week or whatever, right? Like, they found another use for that money that they didn't have before because they were able to save. So whatever that raving fan looks like for you, I use that wrap. Like, I am looking like a thirst trap right now. Like, this was amazing. I'm so glad I got that wrap from, Sarah, because this has like completely changed my life. If you're an interior decorator, holy cow, my place is completely transformed. I now can find things easier. Things just make sense where things are placed. I feel comfortable being in my own home. I want to be in my home, especially now that I'm working from home. Like, it's so important to me to like have a great space. And you know what? Ellen did a great job. Like, my place looks amazing. You want that person like constantly talking about like what it is that you do and you provide. It once you have a raving fan, like, it just makes things so much better. And so, to your point, in my mind, having a raving fan was so important to me. That's why I like made it like a priority to like check in and stuff like that. And so the big question, I mean, you should be asking yourself is like, do I have any raving fans in my business? And if you do, how many raving fans in your business do you have?
Yeah.
The follow-up is key. And that conversation, like the conversation that you have in the follow-up, how was it? Would you want to try something new or different? That's always a good question. Just like seeing how else you can be of service. Or for me, I lean into the fun side. I like to have a lot of fun. So I'll see like what else I can do to like have fun. Yep.
I love that.
So we have a lot of people agreeing. Follow-up is key.
Say that.
It is.
Say that. So one of the things I'm thinking about with this follow-up, and and Janelle's definitely said it, we don't necessarily get on here and want to give you guys how-to specifically. One of the reasons is if your company has a way that they've trained you or you've been taught to do certain things, then please follow the company's system the way that you have set up. Why? Because whatever they're doing, if you have other top leaders in your organization winning that way, then you don't want to deviate from that. You want to follow up. But as I was listening to us and thinking about this idea of how do you create that, I want to take this outside of just network marketing and recognize that I remember an interview that Gary Vaynerchuk, I hope I said his last name right, had done with a restaurant owner. And this thing stuck in my head because this guy was talking about the experience that he gives his restaurant to the restaurant to patrons, so I guess people who come in and eat, and it stuck with me. And he called I think the interview was like the Red Napkin or the Red, but the whole thing I think about was the experience. And what he describes is this is about, again, we're business owners. We're talking to you guys. You are a business owner. You have your own distributorship. You work through a company. We understand that, but you are in charge of your organization. You might be brand new. No one's in it yet. You are in charge of the experience that you can provide for your organization. And so the guy talks about this red napkin, and he goes, what he does is when somebody is brand new and the waiter comes over, and you're sitting there, if the waiter comes over and says, hey, is this your first time here? You probably had that asked to you before. The waiter, if you answer yes, will put a red napkin on your table. And they do this to indicate to everyone in the restaurant that this is somebody. Now, obviously, they care about everybody there, but this is the person that they want that person's night to be something they go home and talk about. He talks about he gets into logistics. I actually pulled it up, but I won't share it with you. But it's 5 minutes of advice that will change your restaurant business. And the guy proceeds to tell Gary about the fact that 40% of the money that he has coming in is from retaining customers. He goes, you're going to have new business coming in. And in the restaurant industry, I know that this is way more prevalent because restaurants, similar to our industry, 3 to 5 years, they're out of business. I've actually helped open restaurants before when I was in real estate. It is actually significantly higher how fast they close because it takes a while for them to build it, establish, especially if they're new in an area and they don't have a big name. It takes a while to build up a fan base because Janelle told this story about her parents before, that West Indian restaurant. It really does. I mean, your food is being judged by individuals, and one person's bad review can obviously affect you in a major way. It's one thing if you sell a product and it just didn't happen to work for someone. People don't necessarily have to badmouth it. They'll say, oh, it didn't work for me. But if you get a bad restaurant, it's the food is awful. They didn't eat everything on your menu, but they had the one dish and it wasn't great that night. And all of a sudden it's you're done. But he talks about this experience of having the napkin. He talks about the fact that he gives them the dessert. Like he goes, the cost of the dessert in terms of what they're making is so insignificant. He discounts the drinks that night. He just wants the person to have such a great time that when they leave, they're going out. And I wonder, Janelle asks, what are you doing to create this raving fan in your business? Your product and service is amazing. And then what? They can go buy the electricity from anyone. They can go buy the lotion. They can go on a trip. They can, on and on. They can do that with anyone. Why your company? And the difference, guys, is you. You are the thing. You are the part of the experience that no other company has. No other product has. Janelle is the difference in our business because no one else has what she's going to bring to her customers. So it's, again, if Janelle's just, got somebody involved in the business and she takes the time to recognize, oh, this person liked these products, the next time I'm going to make a little note to myself that the minute I see something come up, I'm going to reach out to them. Not an email, maybe a text if that's your thing, but maybe a phone call if you're that person. Hey, I just saw this and I remember you told me that you were looking for this. You got to go check this out. That person is more likely to buy because Janelle's called than if they saw the email promoting the same product, promoting the same new advances in the service, promoting a trip. And the reason is because this person now feels, again, and the thing we're looking for is special because she took the time to reach out to say that. And that's what he described. The second time they come, they have another thing that they do because now, again, his waiter and staff, this is what he teaches them. It's not just they come in and they get it. He says that not only do they get better tips, so his wait staff is actually incentivized to go and do this because that person has had such an amazing experience. And think about it. Why do we usually not tip well? It's usually because the service is not the greatest, right? Mm-hmm. But imagine if every time you're in a restaurant, you happen to be that red napkin person, you leave thinking, my goodness, I got to go back. I've done that so many times where I've gone to a restaurant and literally based on how my experience was, I'm telling people about it. We talk about Janelle's salmon story all the time. It's not any place that we can go. There's a specific spot that she got this salmon that was so amazing. She kept talking about it. That place was the thing. The food that night was the thing. But imagine if it was the wait staff. We went to where's the spot we went to in Orlando. Yeah.
Oh, we have to remember we have to give them a shout out. Yeah. Because it was a budding manager who was like doing everything. He was a server, he was a bartender, he was up for a promotion, and he served us. Not only was the food amazing, but Absolutely. He was like, he wanted to know from each one of us, what were we looking for? What were we in the mood for? Did we have any allergies? Like, and because he took the time with each person and then he gave a recommendation based on what you said, I would highly recommend this. And then if someone questioned it, really, you think that? Please order it, taste it, and if you don't like it, I will
take it off.
I'll take it off the bill. Like, and like so serious about like that. We left that restaurant and we were like, we're telling everybody that
about
they need
you.
to come here. And here's the thing, we actually brought people back to the restaurant.
Yes, we did.
We ended up not having the same experience, and so they probably won't talk about this place the way we talked about it, but they did admit that the food was really good.
But that guy made the absolute. Made the absolute difference in the same place, same food, but everything. He happened to say that he bartended, so we were asking about different drinks. He was like, "Oh, you got to have this drink with it." I mean, that guy made the absolute difference in everything that was about that night. We had such a great. I mean, we kept talking about the food. We're like, "Man, you are amazing." Then I mean, so I just say all of that to say, I mean, you are the difference in your business. If you want to know what you need to do to get a Raven fan, you need to have, and I think maybe you do this, Janelle. You say to yourself, what would I want somebody to do if it was me buying the product, right? What would I want somebody? Would I want somebody to go above and beyond? And here's where this may seem a little challenging, because I know it's something I think about. We're strapped for time. If you're doing this business, you're probably time broke. Certainly financially, but more so the time right now is the thing. I think that you feel like it may take a lot of time to do this, but I encourage you, because this is the beautiful part about relationship marketing. If you train your team, if you train your organization, it's not like you need to make all the calls. I don't call Janelle's customers. I don't have to. That's the beauty of it. I focus on mine, she focuses on hers, and we teach the team that that's what we do. So as the organization grows, that's the culture. Yes, you're still going to lose people. This isn't like a foolproof system, but I can tell you that in our organization, Janelle has the highest retention rate than anyone else. And I have other people who they put people in like gangbusters, and their people fall out. And I'm positive it's because they're so focused on new clients and new customers and bringing brand new people in. And they are, it almost, again, you feel like a sale. And that person who just folded, they got sold a month from now, a couple months from now, they are not going to stay in, because they'll see brand new offers. They'll see competitors that are out there that are, offering them something similar or better. And the difference is they feel like if they go with that person, I have a person who signed up with me, and his exact words was, the woman who signed him up in his organization didn't take the time like I did just to explain some very simple benefits that we offered. And that's the only reason he signed up with me. He also mentioned, and somebody said earlier about following up, she took a couple more days to follow up than I did. And that's not, that's not something I came up with. We have our company teaches us 3 days, 7 days. We have a system about how we follow up. And this other woman, again, great company, because I know the company she represents, but she did not take the time to follow up. And, I have somebody in my business and she doesn't in hers, simply because of that.
That is a really, it's funny because we've talked about, we keep coming around to this follow-up thing. We've now had several other topics, and follow-up comes up. And it's just a reminder of how important it is, right? Like, again, no matter the business structure that you have, how important follow-up is. And it makes you think, like, I'm just thinking right now, like, what are some of the things that I could put in place in my business to make follow-up more automatic? Like seamless, yeah. Like, so that way it's not something I have to remember. It just is a part of my daily operations, right? What can we do? And this is something that each of you, everyone watching live, and thank you all for watching. Those of you who are watching live, please make sure to hit subscribe, the like button, all that other stuff, right? We love all the comments. This is amazing. And share this with your friends or family who are also new in business, who you think they could get some value from this. But I think it's really important that all of us, like as a community, that's what we're doing. We're building a community of entrepreneurs. Like, what can we do to make follow-up seamless, like you said? What can we do to make it a standard order of operation? So that way it doesn't, because here's the thing, like we've just identified that follow-up is key. Follow-up is key. We've said this in 3 other episodes, I'm sure. Follow-up is key. And we keep coming back to it. And so I think it's time to devote some effort and energy for each of us to think about what can we do in our businesses to create a system around follow-up. So that way we do it. And then it's all about showing, right? So like if you're doing a network marketing business model, what you do is what people follow. So then if people see you doing something for your follow-up, obviously they're going to do the same thing. So you want to like model that for your team. And then if you are not necessarily in network marketing, but have some, the other standard business structure, it's the same thing. Like, what are you doing that can make follow-ups like a standard operation? Like, it's just something like clockwork. This person gets an email, they get a text. I was listening to this amazing, okay, so shout out to Earn Your Leisure. Earn Your Leisure, okay? earnyourleisure.com. Earn Your Leisure as a YouTube channel. I highly recommend any and all of you go to that YouTube channel first, or Instagram, or whatever you want to do. But they provide a lot of value. And one of the things that one of the people who was being interviewed talked about is how they created an app. Essentially, he created an app. It's for anyone and all and everyone to use. But for any of you that know of this app called Community, it's a way in which now we see people do it now, like famous people. I know Gary Vee does it. I'm on his group text. They basically have a way to text you. Oh, there it is. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. So they provide so much value. So I don't, if any of you are familiar, I mean, maybe you're getting text messages from the Kardashians, or like God knows how many, I mean, so Gary Vee, I mean, there's so many people who have this, where they have access to your actual phone and they send you text messages. And these text messages are in pieces of information, maybe just even like a, hey, you're going to do great today, you're going to kick butt, like whatever it is, but it provides some sort of value. And sometimes it's a sale, it's a promotion. Hey, I want you to buy my tea, here's the link, you'd be the first one to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, so, but it's this constant communication. Here's the thing, like that is a way to make your follow-up a standard order of operation. Now, I only bring up Earn Your Leisure because there's a person who on Earn Your Leisure actually created the concept for the Community app. And for whatever reason, you can watch the video yourself to find out, but people didn't buy it. And then some other people did instead and created Community. Wow. But it's a very interesting idea. Okay, so anyway, the point is that is an example of a way that you can have standard follow-up. I just think that we should all be having a way where we can standardize our follow-up, whether it's creating group texts or text messages that go out to all your customers, whatever it is, but we need to figure it out.
The one other thing I'll add in, I know we're running close on the time right now, is your phones. So obviously many of us in this day and age, you have some type of smartphone. Apple users over here, shout out. No disrespect to any Samsung, Galaxy. You notice my voice lowers as I say it. But either way, I'm almost positive we all have a calendar, right? And I tell you that many of us use this, but many of us may not use the calendar. And I can tell you that from real estate to personal training, one of the things that I did used to get praised on was that I'd have, to the Janelle's point, Gmail has it where you can create automatic letters. We have it even with our business where we have drafts that are set up. You can set up an email to be sent out at a later time and date. So if I just got you into my business, let's say I just showed you the deal or I just brought you to an opportunity presentation, I can literally write you an email the night afterwards and set the date for 3 days later. If you tell me to follow up with you in 3 days, and have the email sent out in 3 days. Hey, Janelle, just following up. Are you ready to get started? Or, whatever you're taught is your closing way of doing it. But I could absolutely tell you that people have calendars and do not use it. Now, again, maybe it's just my personality in terms of the color I am. I am anal about certain things, but I can also tell you in working with multiple people, you can have multiple calendars set up. You can have a team calendar that's set up for every brand new person in your organization. It literally says on the top of it, and you can set the date to remind your entire organization, hey, follow up with this person. If you're doing 2-on-1 or 3-on-1s, with 2-on-1s, with one of your people on your team, and you want that person now to say, hey, you're tracking your business. So Janelle just showed somebody on Monday. I know Janelle I was on that call with Janelle. I was her, third party, upline or whatever the case is on the call. I can say to myself, boom, Janelle showed, reach back out to Janelle on Friday about that deal. This is your business, guys. Don't sit around waiting for other people to do these things for you. You can, that's the beautiful thing about what we do. The beautiful thing. It is also the challenge about what we do. No one is there often to tell you that you need to do some of these things. It's why we created a platform like this, to have people share these ideas that you can come here and learn from people who are out in the marketplace, actively building and learning to build a massive organization of millions of people. And one of the things I think is underutilized is people's calendars. You know, it tells me, oh, today is the first day of Hispanic Heritage Day, Heritage Month. Like, that's awesome that Google chose to tell me that, right? But what do you have going on in your business today, or in your for your team today, that you should have up on your calendar? And you can, again, create a team calendar and have them share a calendar, and then have everybody do follow-ups that way. You can put a little note to yourself, and within your own business, you can be sharing that information. So I love what Janelle shared about, I love what Janelle shared about, what's the name of the company, Janelle?
Earn Your Leisure.
Earn Your Leisure. Thank you. Yeah. I know there are also some apps that you can download that will do that kind of stuff for you. I know Janelle has an app that we use that sends group text messages to people, but it separates it. So it's not, you know, you hate when you're on one massive text with other people. You want to, again, feel special. And the app separates it. So I get the text message and as if it was being sent directly to me. I don't know if you want to drop that one there as well, Janelle. So
that that's just called Groups.
Oh, perfect. There you go. And that's free, or no? That is one. Perfect. So it's an app called Groups. You can just send out a group text message. So you can literally, maybe on your team, say, hey, who's following up this week? Just a little reminder like that may get somebody to go, oh, you know what? I did show somebody last week and I didn't reach out to them yet. So these little things, guys, can be the difference in a couple more sales every single week for your organization. And that can make all the difference.
Well, guys, we are out of time. As you know, we have a time limit. Please, I just put the link in the chat. Please join our community on Patreon. We love our community members there. We are building up a community of entrepreneurs, people who are new to entrepreneurship and network marketing. And we just want to create a community where we can listen to each other, hear what everybody else is doing, create value. And so we'd love to have you join us there. Also, when you're a community member, you get access to things like bloopers. You get access to things like overtime, right? Like overtime is huge. A lot of times we'll continue the discussion later, and then those nuggets in overtime are really, really good, especially with our guests that we have. So you want to make sure that you become a community member so you can get access to that. And our very special community members can also request that we interview specific people. So if you're interested in getting a specific person on, you definitely want to make sure that you become a part of our community on Patreon. We'd love to have you there and join us as we continue the conversations.
And then, guys, if you are on Instagram, you could definitely find us on Instagram at @saythat_channel. Please definitely add us there. We drop things in there, advice from different business people are going to continue to grow that platform as well. So follow us or find us on Instagram at @saythat_channel. And there it is. As always, remember you deserve the good life.
Say that.
That's the perfect one. We did it. Happy Wednesday, guys. Have an amazing week. We'll see you guys next week.